Hi, this is Scot Pekarek, founder of the Real Estate World podcast. I have a question for you. How would you like the opportunity to work with an industry thought leader who knows not only how to grow your business, but make you a better person? Have I got your attention now? What if I told you that there's a $1 billion brand out there and that brand is you? Yeah, I'm serious. It's you. So if you'd like to start realizing your full potential and work with a guy who actually gives a shit about you, your business, your life, your favorite color, everything about you, go to realestateworld.tv, register, and put I believe in the comments. What's that going to do? Well, it's going to get you a phone call from me personally, and we're going to spend an hour learning about you personally and find out what challenges, what opportunities, what fears, what brings you joy. Basically, in 1 hour, I'm going to dig deep into your soul and find out how, why, who, how, when, whatever, and come up with a plan to help you be not just a better leader in business, but also a better human being. Hi-ya! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Real Estate World podcast, the podcast designed to help you understand the disruption going on in the universe right now and how you can get your mind around it. We're here to help you make more money in less time and be happier doing it. Today, we are going places no one could have dreamed we are going. We're doing the show live on Facebook, and I'm telling you, there is potential for a disaster of biblical proportions, including someone grunting live on Facebook. So, what do we got for you today? Well, we've got a great show. In fact, it's by far our greatest show yet. And the mere fact that we're willing to do it live and bring you in to the sausage factory and show you how the sausage is being made, you may never want to eat it again. All right, so here we go. Just a quick recap of last week's show. We broke new ground. It was kind of like reinventing the wheel in a sense, but not just a wheel. It was like this super wheel that time traveled. We did the show. We shot it in reverse order out of necessity because our initial shoot sucked. But in that sausage making, we discovered something special. Jeremy, help me out here. What was it about the show that impressed you most last week?
I don't know. I think it was between either you walking on the moon or you buying a star. I think were the two most impressive moments.
Well,
I don't know how we're going to follow that today, but this is a really good start.
I did reveal that I did name my star Bart in honor of the Green Bay Packers legend. I will be there in Green Bay podcasting live from Lambeau in approximately 10, 12 days, Adam, I believe.
10 days.
Yeah. So anyway, last week's show, we talked about, the trolls are out in force, of course. We talked about short-term rentals versus Main Street USA. We had an open door update. We did briefly touch on, what was the other thing, Jeremy? I think it was, I talked a little bit about real estate fails where buyers agents need to be focused more on educating their clients about financing issues. Be sure to make sure that you're teaching your clients. Don't assume you know what they don't know. That's very dangerous in this world. So anybody who's watching, that looks like there's tons of people right now. Make sure you comment. If you don't like the show, tell us you hate us. Don't swear. We don't want profanity. You want this to be family friendly. There's a middle finger emoji you can use. If you love the show, give us a heart. Give us 4 hearts, 5 heart rating. 5 frogs, Brian. A 5 frog rating is something of a great importance. We'll talk about that in other episodes.
I think it's another great opportunity. If you have any subjects that you want us to cover, we can cover it live. We can cover it on our normal Wednesday at noon podcast. Make sure you leave those in the comments. We'll respond. We're very timely on that. And we appreciate any feedback that you have.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for pointing that out, Jeremy. And I also do a daily floss where I can talk about some of these topics. Today, I just want to briefly touch on the word Kaizen. Kaizen is this idea of improving a little bit every time. And for those of you fortunate enough to watch us do our technology test last night, you will know that there's a little Kaizen moment for us today, in the fact that I don't believe we have any 5-year-olds joining us anytime soon. And I think I know how to end this meeting without sitting there awkwardly for 2 minutes afterwards. So we grow.
Press the power button on the monitor.
I was going to like just pull the plug on the computer. I was getting that moment, right? You guys, it was like watching a hanging. Okay. I was like hanging myself on Facebook Live. It's never been done before, as far as I know, on a podcast. Hopefully will never happen again. Today's show is awesome. We're bringing the fire today. We're going to start out by talking about our disruptor of the week, Redfin. Redfin has created a tsunami of controversy this week. We're going to get into that. We're going to give you an update. We have a special panel for our real estate wars segment. It's a husband-wife team. Any divorce attorneys out there, please tune in. I'll try to get you their numbers because this could get spicy. We're not arguing the cases. They're going to give us an update, but seeing these two interact in public, personal lives, I just don't know where this is going. This is very dangerous territory we're going into. But, you know, as we say here in the Real Estate World podcast, we don't just embrace controversy. We have it over for dinner sometimes. And Allie and Adam were over for dinner a couple days ago. So anyway, Real Estate Wars, special. You're thinking it can't get any better than this. I know. And
the big one. It's the big one.
It's the big one. The California earthquake, and then the lawsuit filed against NAR and some of the major brokers and franchisors in the country. This is going to change real estate, and we're going to talk about why and how and what you can do to embrace the change. Because if we're doing nothing here, we are giving you guys the tools to embrace disruption, to embrace change, and be a better professional in it. And if you're a consumer out there who's looking to buy, you're gonna get some insight into what are the controversial topics, what are the disruptive topics in the industry. And then finally, we have a very, very, very special guest. We have actually located a troll whisperer. We thought maybe it was a troll hunter, but we have a troll whisperer, Aaron Fruit, coming here live from flyover country, and he's going to talk about trolls, profiling trolls, ways to inoculate yourself against trolldom, how you figure out if you're becoming a troll. And of course, we're going to quote some of my favorite trolls who are taking the bait on social media. I've set the hook, I've baited the hook, and the trolls have taken the bait once again. So, and then last but not least, there will be a interview, a get to know us segment. Amanda Abergel flipped the script as promised, and she interviewed my brother Jesse and I in Las Vegas. And you're going to get to know us and learn all about the more sensitive side of Scott. Yes, it does exist, and you're going to learn a little bit about it. You know, as you know, I've grown up very poor on a farm. Part of me died in that experience, but Amanda helped resurrect that.
World's smallest violin.
Yeah. The violins are out in force today. It could have been a fiddle. Anyway, so I'm going to get right into the Redfin disruptor spotlight, and I'm going to do something that I haven't done before because, again, when you're making sausage, there is no formula that you have to follow. Sausage is being made. You can say, you know what, I'm going to make anchovy sausage today, or I can make sausage out of kale and a whole hodgepodge of ingredients. So today, I'm going to invite in my panel, and we're going to talk about a company by the name of Redfin. They have disrupted real estate. Redfin is, I'm going to give you a little bit of details, and then I'm going to invite the panel to chime in. Redfin is a real estate brokerage, Seattle-based. Lots going on in Seattle. Founded in 2004, went public August 2017. Glenn Kelman, the disruptor-in-chief, is the CEO. The business model is based on sellers paying Redfin a small fee in the 1% to 2% range. I believe they're advertising 1.5%. Does not include an additional fee charged to the seller to compensate the brokerage representing the buyer. So, and this is usually in the 2.5% to 3% range. Buyers are given a small portion of this fee by Redfin. So why do we care? Why do we care about what Redfin is doing? Anybody want to take this question? Raise your hand or just jump in. What did Redfin do this week that has got the real estate industry heads exploding or imploding maybe? Anybody? Adam.
Transparency. Scary.
Oh yeah. So yeah.
In full disclosure, what Redfin's now doing is disclosing on Redfin listing the buyer commission.
Yeah, okay, exactly. So Redfin has decided that they're going to start disclosing what the buyer brokerage fee or commission is. So if you're being represented by an agent in a transaction, the way it works right now is there's typically, I'm not saying in all cases, but typically the listing agent signs a contract with the seller. That fee can be a flat fee, $500, $1,000. It could be a full commission. In the case of a commission or even a flat fee, there is a blanket offer of compensation for the buyer brokerage, i.e. the brokerage representing the buyer, of which an agent, depending on what state, you're in, sometimes agents are called brokers, sometimes they're called agents. I don't want to get in the weeds into the jargon here, or the vernacular, but the person representing the buyer there's a blanket offer of compensation. Okay. It's usually in a lot of markets, it can be anywhere from 1 to 3 to 4%. And sometimes there's a bonus on that. Right now, that's not disclosed on most MLS or any that I'm aware of nationwide. There's just a listing and there's a price, and then you have an agent, and most agents say, well, the seller pays the commission, so don't worry about it. Well, not really an honest answer. I mean, if anybody know who usually brings money to the transaction, to the closing?
The person who's buying?
Yeah, it's typically, unless seller's underwater, right? It's usually the buyer. So you can say, well, they're actually bringing money, so they're paying for it. I would say in most cases, it's a 50-50 split because the buyer, seller's taking into account the commission. So this blanket offer of compensation is not published anywhere. Redfin said, we're going to show what that is. We're going to bring transparency to the marketplace. And we're going to post this on our website so then you, as the buyer, know what your agent's getting paid. Now, most states, I believe, have a form that you have to disclose that you're being compensated. What's going to happen? This blanket offer compensation is actually at the center of the lawsuit filed by a gentleman in Minnesota against NAR. I don't know if they've achieved class status yet. However, basically the argument is that this blanket offer compensation, since the buyer can't negotiate with their agent, it is increasing the cost of housing. All right, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more. Redfin has fired the first shot and said, you know what, we're going to start publishing this. And what this is going to do is it's going to make people talk to their agents about being paid. And I will tell you, the industry, a lot of people are freaking out about this. And I, for one, cannot understand why. All right, look, if you are a real estate professional who is getting paid tens of thousands of dollars in some cases for representing a client, why would you have a problem talking about your value, right? Like if you can't describe what it is that you do to earn that commission, you either need to go get some training, and I can help you with that, or you need to get out of the business. All right, because this is the future. This is the future. This lawsuit that's being filed is going to change how compensation happens. And why would you run from this? Most buyers, and Jeremy, we talked about this morning. Most buyers, they're buying an experience when they buy a house. They're not buying, hey, this isn't a bag of pretzels or pack of gum where they're thinking that, okay, this is, I need to buy the BOGO because that's the only way I buy pretzels and frozen pizza, by the way. And there's a story there. Anyway, but if you're a professional, like, why would you run from this? This is great. This is a chance for you, if you provide an excellent service, to talk about how you provide the best real estate experience. That happens before the sale and continues beyond the sale. And Jeremy, you talked about this morning. You were in an industry where they didn't disclose?
Well, the industry that I was in is optical. I'm not going to name any names or companies, but just looking at the industry itself, you could look at the companies that were tailoring themselves to the budget customers. They would put 2 pairs of glasses for $99, and they'd be very transparent with the price because they were trying to draw in the people that were on a tight budget or didn't place that much value on the luxury or the design of the product that they were buying.
Yeah, you weren't selling Prada eyewear, were you?
I was, yes.
Oh, you were?
Yes. But then, other industries that tailor themselves more towards, the luxury customers, we didn't post or list the price on everything because a lot of what we were selling, and if we were to open up a menu, there'd be 100 different things that we were selling that we would have to be educated on. But the service that we were providing was, one, our expertise, but then also, it was an experience. We had a lot of really good, talented opticians throughout the company. And, we were able to charge a premium because it wasn't just the product.
Right.
The product was a premium product. We were also selling a premium service to our
Well,
clients.
and I think that's a differentiating factor. You have people out there who are looking for, hey, can you just write this purchase agreement? I found the house I want. What is that? What are you going to charge me for that? Like you could say, well, I'm doing this purchase agreement. I'm a budget agent, right? But if you want to be a premium agent, say, look, I work with people. I provide a service. I help you find contractors. The difference between 2 and 3% on a $300,000 house is what? $6,000 versus $9,000. Look, I can negotiate with the contractor and save you some money on getting a roof done or getting some work done in your house. Or maybe you don't care that I save you $5,000 doing this. You just want someone that you can trust that's not going to screw you, right? That you got, hey, this is a reliable, reputable contractor. Yeah, he's not the cheapest guy, but I guarantee you this, you're not getting the tail light warranty, i.e. the warranty that lasts as long as, until you see the tail lights the car drive away. All right. That's a valuable service. And agents, you need to start thinking about that. If you want to be a premium agent, you get premium commissions, start explaining to the consumer, start believing in yourself and be able to articulate that. There's nothing to run from here. There's nothing to be afraid of. And if you're not that good, well, then maybe you're a budget agent and you're doing deals for $1,000 for someone who says, I found this house. I just want you to write the purchase agreement. All right. That's who you want to be. That's who you are.
I think, this kind of rolls into real estate wars for today, but I think.
And let's go there, because I know we got people on a tight schedule. So
yeah,
Jeremy?
But being more transparent on pricing, you can then tailor the service that you're giving to the buyer.
Agreed. A transparency. How is transparency bad? Explain to me. If I'm a consumer too, you know what I like? I like transparency. I might be willing to pay the premium if you tell me why. Explain to me why it's a good idea. I do. I buy a lot of premium products. There's certain things I don't. All right. Socks. I don't buy premium socks. I buy them on Amazon. They're like, $2. But there are things I will pay a premium. AV equipment in my house. Yeah. I like listening to music and watching TV. I'm a rube. But I value that. So anyway, we're going to roll right into the real estate wars topic, talking about the lawsuit that has been the class action. I believe it's achieved class status. I could be wrong on that. Basically, at the crux of this suit is a gentleman, an appraiser in Minnesota, has filed a lawsuit claiming that that commissions are inflated because they're set with the listing agent and the buyer doesn't get to negotiate that. And there's claims of collusion, which we thought would end it with the Mueller report. I don't think the Russians are behind this, but it's a chance. Anybody aware of the Russians being behind this real estate commission?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Well, it might come out. Putin, I'm sure you're listening. We might be on to you. So anyway, Adam, Allie, one of you guys want to just kind of sum this up a little bit, what's going on with the suit? Anyone want to take this?
Yeah, I can give a quick update on what's going on. First, just like to say, this is not legal advice. These are my opinions and the opinions of no one else. But the update now is that NAR had filed a motion to transfer the case that's also going on simultaneously in the Western District of Missouri. And they were trying to transfer and consolidate the case to the Northern District of Illinois.
And on
August 19th, the judge had denied the order.
Adam, your sound's a little whack right now. I don't know. So basically, there's a suit filed in Missouri, correct? And then also the Southern District of Illinois, i.e. Chicago. And NAR was trying to consolidate the cases.
The smaller ones.
Yeah, so they would not have to fight the battle on two fronts. So
exactly.
And that was dismissed.
That was denied. So they're not able to consolidate it. So it'll be a more expensive journey.
Okay,
so
and
far.
again, as Adam stated, I am not giving legal advice. I am not giving accounting advice. I'm not giving tax advice, but I am giving you life advice, and I'm not a psychiatrist either. So I don't know how many more disclaimers we want. I'm sure the trolls are going to find they're going to look for a way in, and that's fine. We are ready for you, trolls.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no,
so
We have
Good point.
here.
All right, how's my sound now?
It's a little bit better.
better.
Yeah, so the lawsuit notes, in furtherance of the conspiracy, the National Association of Realtors advises MLSs to enter into non-compete agreements with third-party websites such as Zillow so that those websites do not become competitive rivals to MLSs. So basically, they're saying the NAR, the suits been filed against NAR and some of the largest brokers in the country, franchisors. I assume they're going to try to suck everyone into it.
Right.
We don't think this is going away. The home seller, Christopher Morrill, he initially filed the lawsuit in March. NAR has responded saying that the lawsuit should be dismissed because mischaracterizing the rules led the Morrill's attorneys to dream up purportedly, oh my goodness, that is a big word for Scott. Anti-competitive rules that simply do not exist in NAR's handbook code of ethics. Now, how does this tie into Redfin?
Right.
Ellie,
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So related to what we were just talking about, one of the facts that are being disputed in this class act is that, and it has, well, the buyer commission. So what the plaintiffs are alleging is that that there's this quote unquote conspiracy that's keeping the buyer commissions inflated is because, well, one, the seller is not involved in those negotiations. And when the buyer's agent sets it, when the sellers set it, they're incentivized to have high commissions so that their houses will get shown more often. And I guess that's a question I had for you, because before we were talking about transparency, and NAR's coming back and saying that's not true. There's a lot more that goes into what the buyer's agent's commission is set at. So it's kind of a factual dispute there, but I mean, what do you think? Is there more to setting the buyer's commission, or is it, are you incentivized as an agent to show the higher? You are, but there's also an ethical component to it, right?
So there's the question, right? If the fact that I'm being paid more, am I being incentivized to show homes that have a higher commission? I will tell you, ethical agents who operate in integrity, that doesn't matter. Now,
right.
Like I will show any house, even if and I'm not as active as I once was. I've done 1,500 real estate transactions, all right, in my career. I run a brokerage with 20 agents. I've, managed and leased thousands of rental units. I've rehabbed, hundreds of homes. I'm not exaggerating on these numbers. I don't know what the exact numbers are, but it's been a lot. I was an 8-day-a-week, 25-hour-a-day guy. So I'm very, very knowledgeable of what goes on here. I will tell you this: if the payout's zero, I negotiate with my client what I want to get paid, what I deserve in my mind. I'm going to rephrase that. I don't deserve anything. No one deserves anything. Like what I've earned, all right? What value I provide. And I have no problem talking to my clients. Hey guys, we're going to look at 50 places. I want to get paid, or I'm going to, go to the bar and start. No, not really. But I'm going to be compensated because I'm really good at, exactly. I'm really good at what I do. I'm going to help you negotiate, not just the negotiation piece, but with contractors. I'll give you a reliable inspector. What's a big deal? What's not a big deal in my mind, and help you quantify like what issues that we find. All right. And then after the sale, I'm going to be a resource for you to help you with any real estate and frankly personal issue you have, if you want me to. And I'm going to be if I'm not your friend at the end of the transaction, I didn't do my job. All right. And if someone says your commission's $1,000 and I showed this, I've worked with this guy for 4 years and I have done that, I'm going to say, look, we're going to add in X amount because I believe that is what I've earned. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. And if he says, no, you're a fraud, you only worked 5,000 hours on this, you should only get $500, he could say that, right? Or she, or whoever it is. So where this is going, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I do think that the conspiracy piece is going to be up for debate. Because like you're saying, it's not like a whole bunch of the agents got together and they're like, okay, we're all going to get 6%. It's kind of like the market's going to bear what the market's going to bear.
And that being
the going
said,
rate for vodka Rebels, $10. It's
$10,
not that the energy drink companies got together and decided that's for the American people. So
right. The
yeah.
Swedes, or is it the Swedes that did vodka Red Bull? All right,
I should actually know that.
Wish you should know that with the amount you consume. But anyway, but like my deal is where this is going, in my opinion, again, this is fact-based opinion. Where this lawsuit's going to go, I don't think there'll be damages. I don't believe there will be. Maybe there will be. I don't know. I don't believe. So I think what's going to happen is the MLSs are going to break out the buyer side compensation, the selling agent they call it, and then the listing agent. And the buyer's agents or brokers are going to negotiate that fee with the buyers. And you know what?
I think so too. And that's
not scary.
Redfin.
That's not scary to me. I mean,
it's not scary, and I mean, and it sounds like with MLS and with NAR, I mean, their practice has been under a microscope for the last decade, but this is like the first time where the actual commission structure is being challenged. So I think you're right on that. But it is going to go on for years. I mean,
yeah, this isn't going to be solved overnight, but you know what? Those of you out there that actually want to provide good service, start thinking about the service you provide. And if you don't think you're earning 2%, 3%, 1%, then add on some services. Become a resource a valued resource that is worth that kind of compensation. All right, you have time. Now you can curl up in the fetal position, cry yourself to sleep every night, or like let's figure out how you can truly have an honest dialogue with your client and say, look, this is the service I provide. It is cradle to grave. You may think you're paying for this one transaction, but what you're doing is you're getting a valued resource that's going to help you in your real estate journey from here till the day I or you, Pat, leave this earth and hopefully go, to the pearly gates and not where Scott's going. But that's the thing here. This is not scary. This is transparency. Consumer will demand transparency in all forms. What's different about this case, there has been, I believe, some attempts to change the structure in the past, but it's normally been attorneys that haven't been well funded. They don't have the resources to get expert testimony. They don't have the longevity to play this out. The firms that are bringing this case right now are not the ambulance chasers. Okay, right. These are the people that took on and beat big tobacco. That was what, $200 billion. They took on Apple and won in I think it was the music, whatever service. Yeah. Books. Another one, there was another pretty and it escapes me right now, but these are not ambulance chasers. It's not going to go away. I think it's going to change the industry. I think that at the end of the day, if the agents who understand providing a valuable service look at this and they look at it honestly, they say, you know what, if I can actually be better in this situation, this is going to be better for the consumer and it's going to be better for me. And the ones who are afraid of this, might not be here.
Yeah, I think from a transparency perspective, it's heading in the right direction. But I do think another piece of this is that they're alleging that the rules are anti-competitive.
Yeah.
And so I think that also scares people too, hearing, antitrust violations and what's up with the real estate market. And if you don't dig into it, it can scare a lot of people.
Well, okay. I think stay tuned. This is an ongoing story. This is a developing story. We'll keep you posted here. We do not run from this. We are going to hit this head on. I think, hopefully at the end of the day, this is something that will provide a better experience for the consumer, more transparency. The agents who actually care about their consumers, care about their careers will take this, hit it head on, the obstacles away, and say, you know what, how do I show that I truly have this value? And if I don't have it right now, I'm going to have an honest dialogue with myself. How can I add services that show that I am actually worth this amount, whatever that amount is, whether it's $1, $1 million, $1 billion, anywhere in between? That's where your mindset should be. How do I truly, can I have this dialogue with my clients? And if you don't know what to do, you don't know how to have that, get a hold of us. We'll help you with that. And I guarantee you there's no reason to be afraid of this. There's absolutely no reason. I think if it's good for the consumer, we should embrace it and figure out how we can develop it or integrate it into our business plan.
And one thing I would add is that all this has already happened in the insurance industry a long time ago. I mean, this is a long time coming for real estate, I think. When the internet was a brand new thing, there's a case study in Freakonomics, the book Freakonomics, about how, you know, insurance people had their own pricing just based on very small locales. And eventually that all broke down because the internet allowed everybody to see everyone else's prices all over. Suddenly you have to be competitive on a national scale, not just in your little small town in Podunk, Minnesota or whatever.
Right. And your father is an insurance agent, or was, right? So you
Exactly.
know a little bit about this. And here's the deal. Like, some people are going to be price shopping. They're going to say, I want the cheapest agent out there, and that's all I care about. And you know, that might be the least experienced or the least qualified person in some cases. Or it might be someone who's really qualified, that's really efficient about doing deals and has figured out a system to make, to earn a living. I don't know. I'm not going to judge. But if you want to be, you want to charge a premium fee, become a premium agent. Be an agent that provides premium service. Okay, don't just say, hey, I got my real estate license. It says I'm a realtor on my card, and therefore I am entitled. We talked about this on episode 1. I'm entitled to this percentage. Okay, you're not entitled to anything. I'm not entitled to even, I'm not entitled to even do this show right now. I just happen to want to do it, and I'm really good at it. So anyway, we're going to move on. I know you guys have got other obligations. Adam and Allie, I've got to, it didn't get as controversial as I thought. I thought there'd be.
I think we dropped Adam. I think his audio.
Oh, well, that's, yeah.
Am I back? No.
You are back. Oh, you're
back.
I lost a pair of those this weekend. Are those mine?
Did you put them on the boat?
It might be. The drone. But thank you guys. I thought this was going to end in mud wrestling in the condo, the townhouse, or maybe out back. Maybe it will end there tonight. I don't know. I don't judge. If it does end there, take a video. We'll integrate it into the show. Please wear clothes though if that happens. All right, we're not that kind of show. Maybe we should be. Maybe we get, maybe our audience would be a billion people right now. All right. Well, thanks for joining. I know you guys are going to drop out. Our next segment, we have the anticipated, maybe even feared moment on the show here, where nobody thought we'd go, to be honest with you. It is the troll hunter / whisperer, Aaron Fruit, who has joined us. Now, Aaron has a special gift, a superpower, if you will, and that is he is currently doing a project where he is profiling and trying to find out why people become internet trolls. And as far as we can tell, and Aaron, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, you have mapped the troll genome. Is that true?
Evolution of the troll?
And from what I've read of your work, apparently internet trolls, this is something that there is a troll gene in all of us, pun intended. And the troll gene is released almost like a virus, and we think the virus was developed in somewhere between the 2012 and 2016 election cycle, or maybe was perfected by the Russians or something. and that we all inherently have troll tendencies in us, and there's certain behavior patterns that you can help identify who amongst us is a troll. We've met the troll, and it is us. So, Aaron, what do you know? What do you know about what makes someone a troll? How do you identify them?
Besides the big wart on their nose. Well, first I want to clarify the terminology troll hunter. You actually don't even have to hunt a troll, because you just sit and wait for them to come to you. You don't have to go and look. You just set the bait, and you got them coming. They smell it a mile away.
They're the, I mean, aren't they like the sworn enemy of like anybody who's being authentic, productive, trying to bring goodness and joy into the world? I mean, isn't that like the perfect bait for them?
Yeah, pretty much. The funny thing is the one thing about trolls is that they don't realize is that their actions are all to make themselves feel better, even though they don't realize that they have a problem, which is, that's kind of the crux of it all.
So I've noticed you have said that like there's certain behavior patterns, right? Obviously someone who's out on the internet like posting comments on someone else's video is definitely that's true sign of trollness, of the impending troll stis. But the how do you spot them in real life? Is it like I know you mentioned that someone pees on toilet seats? That's typically troll-like behavior in the natural world. Yeah, the people who
licks
don't
your ice cream in the grocery store and closes the lid.
they'll ditch out on bar tabs. They always have that phone call that comes in, as the tab is being printed, and suddenly they've got to run home and say, you see them a month later, like, oh yeah, thanks for getting that, I appreciate it. And also you'd mentioned that you may in fact have. Well, first off, can you negotiate with trolls? Will they even come to the table?
That's actually debatable. I mean, troll conversion therapy is actually a thing that we're working on in the lab. But, one thing about trolls, the literary troll you find in caves and under bridges. But the real life trolls, they actually hang out in much, much more dangerous and disgusting places, like YouTube comments or Facebook threads. You do not want to linger there for too long if there's trolls around.
Yeah, well, I'm actually trying. I might do something that I was kind of not thinking I might do, and I'm trying to pull up my Facebook feed. I have one particularly.
Don't read the comments.
What's that? Well, I may not go there. I don't know what the rules are with exposing people, the trolls on. But I will tell you, I have baited the hooks with some very, very juicy, I guess, troll. It's like catnip for trolls. All right, and it's out there on Facebook and Instagram. I guarantee you I'm going to have a feature troll next week that is going to blow you away. In fact, we're negotiating with Aaron to actually draw one of the trolls in and actually have the troll on the show next week. So, Aaron, just keep us updated on that. I believe, like, what is it? A troll, they'll say they're going to come on and just to troll us, they won't. And then they say they won't, and then they will come on. So we're going to keep you guessing on that.
The ultimate troll bait is pride. So if you've done anything that you're actually proud of, first of all, good for you. Second of all, that reeks for the trolls. They smell it. They're coming. It's just prime troll bait, basically.
Where is the troll horde now, Scott?
Okay. I have, as you've seen in my FaceTime. If you haven't seen this, friend me on Facebook. I have a stream. I've purchased the DJI Mavic 2 Pro drone. I may have one or several. I'm not going to disclose that, but I've been authorized to launch the drones on a daily basis. Currently, I believe last week they were massing on the Iowa border. I thought they were preparing a counterstrike. I thought they have not accepted me as their overlord as of yet. However, that I think is just a formality. I am in fact the titular leader of the troll movement. Currently, I think they're beyond the wall of Canada, the Minnesota-Canada border. Apparently, there's a wall there. I think if you want to see what it looks like, watch Game of Thrones. And I think they're massing for convention. And that's why, if you notice, the internet's been weakened in Canada because they are in force and basically trying to clog the pipes in Canada of the internet because they're trolling. And they're probably watching the show right now and they're trying to learn our secrets. So I will keep you updated. Aaron, thank you for coming on. This is provocative stuff. And I don't know where it's going to go. Again, another developing story, controversial. We will keep you posted as this. Hopefully you can get that troll on next week. We can find out a little bit more. Appreciate the mapping of the troll genome and the update on the Russians, if you can provide further details on that.
There'll be a link in the description.
Yeah, please. And Thank you. And, we're writing the definitive guide on trolls, and hopefully we'll have that published here in the next 60 days, coming to bookstores, online bookstores, and e-tailers everywhere soon. So, Aaron, thank you. With that, we're gonna let you can hang around if you want. Hey, we're we're in the lab, and we have no problem having others watch the sausage being made. In fact, if you want to join us, our
I'll
next
hang out.
Yeah. So just a quick recap. Today we talked about Redfin and how they're disrupting with the decision to publish the buyer brokerage commission. Very controversial. We tied that into what's going on with the lawsuit filed against NAR, the major brokerages, franchisors. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think that these things are related. We talked about Kaizen. If you watched see, that's one of the words. There's two words I really butcher. One is for, because I always say fur, and the other is the word hour. I say R. But we talked about Kaizen. Our moment of humility was last night when we tried testing the technology, and I didn't realize how the meeting technology worked. I also didn't realize my 5-year-old son was gonna burst into the office and join us, which was awesome. A lot of people can take a lesson from that. That kid is tenacious. He wanted his dad to put him to bed, and he was not taking no for an answer. That was his goal, and he was willing to literally run through, well, not a wall, but a portal, French doors to get to his dad. And after we did the brief tech test, I went upstairs and he was sleeping in 5 minutes. So, I learned you can learn so much from kids. You talk about mentors in life. Everyone thinks, oh, it's this sagely, Robert Kiyosaki, who is one of my mentors. He was a mind. He helped my mind evolve. But watch children and see how fearless they are. Watch children and see and listen to what they say. That innate curiosity that they have, and a lot of us that curiosity dies, because society tells you, hey, you can't do this, you shouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that if I were you. Kids don't have that. Kids have, kids live in this realm where everything's possible. And we got to be really careful that we don't kill that in our children. And you do that by saying no to everything versus saying, hey, that's interesting. Tell me what you're thinking. Let's talk about it. So that's my challenge to everyone today, who has children, or to yourself. Quit saying no. Let's say, let's discuss this. Let's talk about it. Why do you think that? Ask more questions versus making statements. We don't live in a binary choice world. We don't live, it's a false dichotomy in a lot of things where it's got to be A or it's got to be B. It's, it's A to Z, and maybe it's, 0 to a million different options. So I really was inspired by that moment last night. It was troll bait. Yes. I was inspired by that, of course, but the fact that my son, I have twin 5.5-year-olds, and yesterday was the first day of kindergarten for them, and it was kind of an emotional day for them. For me too. I watched him get on the bus. I actually drove to the school, watched him get off the bus. They were like, Dad, you're a follower. What are you doing? And then, was there when they got off. And it was a very special day for me. Today's a very special day for me too. This is a groundbreaking moment for the Real Estate World podcast. I'm fortunate enough to have family members and friends on the show. And this, we got something coming up here after the interview. It's going to be laced in on the podcast 105, Troll Hunter, and it'll be an interview with me, Scott, and my brother Jesse. We're going to get to know us a little bit more and a little more about our philosophy. It's a little more emotional, I guess. Usually it's not just anger on the show. I said I'd go negative today. I'm not going there. I will give you one update on the Open Door transaction I'm doing. It died, and a piece of me died with it this week. So they, the only issue I have with it, they took so long to do their inspection, and then they came with like, the buyer said they're not going to have enough time to do the repairs. I had no idea what the hell that meant, and I asked them, what does that mean? Well, yabba dabba do. So I don't know. I've got mixed feelings on that whole process. I feared that might happen. I was foolishly optimistic it might close, but the good news is my client and we had good discussions about over the weekend. He's going to pivot. He's got some other ideas, and we're not going to let this beat us. But I'll tell you, you can have the rug pulled out from under you, but just don't let the wool get pulled over your eyes. How about that?
Just don't lock your keys in the car.
Yeah, just well, yeah. Then Jeremy had a rental appointment this week and locked his keys in his car when he's meeting a client. That was also there's room for some Kaizen there, Jeremy.
Excuse me, sir. Do you have a metal clothes hanger I can borrow?
So awesome. So next week we are going to talk about some very provocative topics again, as I'm sure you knew that was coming. Most importantly, we're going to talk about Amazon's entry into the real estate business. That is causing shockwaves throughout the industry. We're going to deep dive into that topic. We're actually going to spend a little bit of time on it because I have a lot of thoughts on that. Real estate wars. Boy, I just not going there. I'm not going to go there. I've got again, it's down to 2. I don't like always teasing you guys with this, but it will be controversial, like always. It will be provocative, and it's going to leave you wanting more. All right. And I hope that our brother Jesse, again, he has had tragedy in his life, and I want to give a shout out to him. His 15-year-old miniature stallion Nathan passed away abruptly this week. They don't know why. It could have been the vet doesn't know why. It just could have aneurysm.
Possible aneurysm, maybe a blood clot, heart failure, just freak incident.
Yeah, and he's really upset by it, and I feel bad for him. And Brian, his husband, down in Phoenix, they run a wonderful nonprofit. He's also a agent who's just awesome at relationship marketing. You talk about someone who provides value. He needs no explanation when he talks to his clients. They know already, but I'm sure he's willing to talk about it as well. And what's his nonprofit again, Jeremy? It's the
Happy Hooves.
Happy Hooves.
Happy Hooves LLC.
Yeah, they bring kids. They go to
basic therapy horses.
Yeah, that you can come to his farm. He'll bring them to you. He'll go to different nonprofits and stuff, and it's a wonderful organization he started. I feel really bad for him and Brian, his husband. My kids have been down there. We talked about Nathan passing away this week, and they had questions. They cut some of the tail hair off, and my kids kept asking Brian, "Well, was the tail bleeding?" It was one of those emotional moments where you're like, "Gosh, the innocence of these kids." And they had all these questions. We had to talk about death. I know it's just a horse, but Nathan was, in fact, I believe he was identified with him. He was kind of a little bit of an asshole, but oh my gosh, I used profanity, but he was also awesome too. He was just
your spirit animal, Scott.
Yeah, there you go. So anyway, so hopefully we can have Jesse on. I know he is grieving, and we respect that. And I love you, Jesse, Brian, and feel really horrible for Nathan's passing. He will. I am glad, however, that we got to walk into Parada del Sol with him.
It's running through greener pastures and
yeah, the great stallions of history with Nathan. And anyway, so up next will be our interview with Amanda Abergel. Again, we go deep. We talk about the soft underbelly of Scott and Jesse.
All right, I am here today with Scott and with Jesse, and you guys are agents, brokers.
Okay, so I'm Scot Pekarek. I'm a broker in, Minneapolis, St. Paul area, actually Minnetonka, Minnesota. If you've ever seen the movie Purple Rain, Prince, have you heard of him, Jesse? Okay, Prince, I believe he cleansed himself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. So watch the movie. It's not a plug. I get no royalties from Prince or the studios, but that's where our office is located. Jesse is my brother. Full disclosure, he is kind of a moron, but introduce yourself and grunt it.
My name's Jesse, and I actually moved to Phoenix, Arizona about 20 years ago from Minnesota to actually finish student teaching, and I decided I liked it so much I stayed.
You actually moved to Tucson and then Phoenix, right?
That's true.
Yeah, I noticed his were better here.
And how can people get a hold of you? Do you have an Instagram handle or some way they can follow you, get to know what you're doing?
If you want to get a hold of me, just go to sp-realestate.com and contact us, or you can send me a text message at 612-600-8888. Scot Pekarek, just say you heard us at Inman or whatever. You're not like a mother of an unborn child or anything.
And you can get me on Facebook, Jesse.
This is Jesse.
Jesse Pekarek. Instagram at Jesse Pekarek. My number is 602-332-5192.
So that's personal numbers, all right? Because we keep it real here, right?
Authenticity.
So you heard that personal number, so make sure you're sending out all those funny videos and
Yeah,
inappropriate videos over to them right away.
Cat's playing piano.
So what makes you guys unique? How long have you been in the industry?
I've been a licensee for about 20 years. I actually was trained as an IT guy, and one day woke up and said, I have got to do something. Anything else. Read Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad, and like it changed. Yeah, completely changed my mindset, I guess.
How did those books influence your career or your life?
It was like somebody, how do I describe it? It's like I discovered fire, really. Like I had never been exposed to that line of thinking. We grew up on a farm, a dairy farm in central Minnesota. Parents love them, but they had a very limited, fixed mindset where almost a culture of victimhood. And
it was almost paralyzing.
Yeah, and reading these books, like it was just a different philosophy. I mean, even going to college, like I didn't have an exposure to that kind of thinking. Like having not just a abundant life, but like a life of prosperity. Yeah, and it helped me realize all things are possible if you believe that you can do it. One of my favorite phrases is, if you can believe it, you can achieve it. And I know that seems cliche and seems like the platitudes that a lot of people speak and buzzwords, but I actually do believe that you.
I'm with you 100% on that. I agree that if you really believe in something and you're in it with both feet, that you can make it happen. But you need to have the idea before it can become a reality.
Absolutely, it's like. I heard it explained to me best. A kid, when he's riding his bike down the street and there's one car parked, and that kid will focus on that one car and run into that car, right? But because he's focusing on the car, not where he's going. And in life, I think a lot of us, we get focused on the negatives, right? And you end up achieving the negatives because that's what you're thinking about. If you actually focus on the positives, a lot of like us coming to Inman. I've been in this business almost 20 years. And I've always wanted to go to Inman.
Right.
But I never went to Inman. Like, why didn't I go to Inman?
And you're here.
Now we're here, and I brought 4 people with me. I convinced them to come because, this is wonderful. And we did a podcast from the floor.
Yes, tell us about the podcast, guys. Why are you doing this? What inspired you to do this? And how's it been going so far?
Okay, so what inspired us to the podcast? The podcast is Real Estate World. The inspiration is really, we want to be known as industry leaders, thought leaders. All right, again, that goes back to mindset. I had like an epiphany this year where I had been coasting through life. I had made more money. I had more stuff than I ever dreamed I could have. But I was a miserable wretch, and I mean that. I was miserable. And people look at my life. I have a wonderful wife. I have 2 great children. I have a great family. I start crying right now thinking about it. But like, I'm so blessed. But I didn't appreciate anything. I lost my why. I didn't know why I was here. And I did a program, and again, I don't get any money for this, but Wake Up Warrior, Garrett J. White, Coach Kevin, love you, brother. I went to this Warrior program in April, and it was a kick in the teeth and a few other parts of my anatomy, and it woke me up. And I realized, my purpose is to give back. It's to create things. Right? It's to create things and give back to people and share my experiences with other, and specifically other men. In our society, men still are taught that you got to be emotionally constipated. You have to. A lot of men sedate in different ways with alcohol, sometimes it's drugs, sometimes it's fitness, sometimes it's work, and we don't have an outlet to share our feelings. And that was me, right? I was so bottled up, so constipated, and I didn't know how to get it out. And this Wake Up Warrior program helped me identify with other men. I'm going to Laguna Beach tonight for an event, 2 days, meeting 12 of my brothers called Return of the King. They've gamified this, and I can't wait. And I'm so thankful that and I know I'm long-winded right now, but this is what led to the podcast. I started doing my podcast 8 years ago. Okay,
in full force now.
Yeah, but I didn't do anything for 8 years, right? It's like the guitar that I had in my attic for 25 years. I bought 25 years ago. I'm now taking guitar lessons. You just have to do it. You have to just try. Try and just do don't try to hit home runs. We hit a home run here. Like we knocked out of the park with what we did, but it's because we believed we could. So what was the question again?
What inspired you to do
okay. So does that count? That and the Simpsons.
And before we move over to you, I just have to say I'm really glad that you brought that light to the table, because I feel like a lot of men are in that same boat and they're shut out and they don't know how to really get out there and express all of this. And society definitely puts this pressure on where you can't really let yourself out of a certain little box for a guy.
Yeah, you're right. And I'm going to give another example because, like I said, we were going to do this 1 minute, but I told you if I start talking, it's going to be like 2 hours. So, like my and there's a camera over here, so I keep looking at myself. Like, anyway, I'm kidding. My parents, my dad. Like, I remember when I was 8 years old, we were at a 4-H. I don't know if you guys didn't grow up on a farm like we did. Probably don't know what 4-H is. Don't worry about it. But we would go to these events. I remember we were on a hayride, and the Van Erden kids were like hugging their mom and kissing them and telling each other they love them. And I thought that was so weird that people would do that, tell each other they love each other. Like we didn't have parents who would do that. And I realized, again, at the Warrior program, like, I was being that way with my wife. Like, I was not showing affection to her in front of we have twin 5-year-old boys. They're wonderful kids. Love them. But I'm going to cry. So I miss them, but weird. But when I realized I wasn't showing emotion to my wife in front of them. So they were, there's a phrase I heard from Joel Osteen. Okay, guys, I was never a religious guy, but he said this phrase. It's so powerful. It's more is caught than is taught. More is caught than is taught. So our kids are recording everything we're doing. Like you tell them, put your clothes away, they don't care. They don't remember that. But if they see me hug and kiss their mom, their mother, my wife, and tell her I love her, like they're gonna do that.
Kelly, you're making me cry.
They're gonna do that to their wife,
Right.
And so I had to stop this cycle of emotional constipation that we got from our father, and he probably got from his father before him, and started realizing, we've got to stop this now, and our actions are what define us, right? You can say whatever you want. We all talk, but it's how we behave, right? And it's not just your kids that are catching that. It's your clients, your friends, your spouses, So if you take nothing out of this interview other than more is caught than is taught, that's a victory.
And how has that changed your relationship with your clients and your prospects?
It's everything. Like you Jesse and I have a theme that we picked up on. We go to see the workshops, and certain people stayed on script. They said the buzzwords, the cliches, they recycled them, and it was fine, But that's I'm like, okay, I'm missing out on a really good nap, all right. But then you had people who just go a little bit further. They wouldn't, they didn't like get naked on stage or like start. Yeah, they didn't like drop F-bombs or anything, but they like actually pushed the boundaries a little bit and revealed a little bit of themselves. And those people were the authentic people. Those were the ones that we actually tuned in. The Zillow killer. Brother, I don't know your name. I do know it, but I forgot it. Vegas beat me last night. Zillow killer, I friended you on Instagram, and you read the Warrior book. I saw that. Anyway, Wake Up Warrior thing, whatever. We had a connection there. Like, that's why you post that stuff and show yourself on Instagram. But the authentic people. And Jesse, you can jump in here.
I was mind blown and really engaged with the Thrive Marketing Workshop. And again, I forget the first speaker's name, but she dug into relationships. It was all about how to create authentic relationships and not faking it. I mean, your clients will know if you're faking it, and to truly feel, and how your clients, if they see the genuineness of it, they're not going to want to go anywhere. They're not going to want to cheat on you because they see the authenticity behind it. And
I love how you just said they don't want to cheat on you.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of realtors that I've worked with and helped throughout the years, that's something that they struggle with, is that they have built out the sphere of influence and they really think they have a strong relationship with a prospect, and all of a sudden they're ready to buy or sell their home. And they're not the one getting the call and not sure why. So let's talk about that a little bit. How do you guys focus or attain new relationships, and how have you facilitated that through the podcast and through your experiences?
Well, I was talking about this last night. My brother Jesse is my idol when it comes to relationship marketing. He absolutely is. I tell I'm a broker. I've got about 20 agents. We're about to go on a massive level up in our office. But I model how you do relationship selling or adding value to your clients by my brother. And I want you to tell everyone what you do, because it's truly amazing. So I want you to end with this, but start with everything else.
There really isn't any secret sauce. I wake up every day truly, and I feel so blessed that I get to work with people I truly care about, and they care about me. My business is 100%. I got in the business, not to get too long-winded, but I got in the business about 15 years ago. I was in biotechnology, I was a teacher, I was an advisor, I was an administrator, and then my brother Scott got me into real estate while I was teaching, and long story short, he inspired me to get my license. I was ready to buy a house. He said, you know what, you'd like to learn. Go get a class. Go take the classes and get your license. Next thing you know, I'm selling homes to my staff, to the teachers. And then it's like, wow, I really liked it. I like to work with people like this. So anyway, fast forward the crash, I lost everything just like many other people, and built it all back up. And now I've got a great book. My philosophy during the days of the short sales, the foreclosures, and you're selling $30,000 condos and making $900. It's the people that will keep those relationships, and they'll remember who fought so hard for 6 months, for 12 months to take care of them, and stay in touch. And just I like to send holiday cards in the mail. I'm very old school. I don't do a lot of e-blasts, which I know I should. I don't do a lot of the techie things, which I know that I should. I kind of kept in my space where I'm sending out cards. I started delivering poinsettias, and now we're delivering 350 poinsettias, and I'm hand making my bows on these huge plants with 10 people that help me and deliver them. And
it takes time and care.
It takes time, and you know what? I could easily go online and type in everyone's address from a mail merge and upload it into the system and deliver a box of chocolates to everyone with a card saying thank you. But I like to do things from the heart.
Where's the genuinity?
Exactly. And so everything's referral based. And when you're invited to someone's wedding, you go because you care about them and they care about you to invite you. They extended an invitation you to their 2-year-old's birthday party. And then when they have another party, I'm bringing my horse Coco to their house or to the park.
Talk about your nonprofit. Talk about the first one, not talk about the one you have now.
Okay. So as Scott mentioned, growing up we did not have a lot of resources. We did not have a lot of money. And 10 years ago, because I was recovering from the recession, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something different. I was in a networking group that dissolved, didn't really take off. But one of our things in the networking group we wanted to do something different was to give back and have our own nonprofit. Mm-hmm. That didn't happen. So I'm like, you know what? Why can't I do it? So I filled out the paperwork, got it approved with the IRS, and it was called Your Someday Is Today. And when I say it's dissolved. Well, I need to dissolve it. But for 10 years, I did an event, Christmas in July, and I invited all my clients, my business colleagues, associates, friends, and we filled a ballroom of 300 people of just our sphere to raise money to buy clothes for underprivileged kids in the community. And over 10 years, we raised $100,000. And it's like, it was so great because everyone was a part of it. It was our connection, making connections, and everyone's bid on the silent auction table, and everyone having a good time. And it wasn't about how much. We're not Thunderbirds raising millions of dollars, running the open, but we're doing something.
Right.
And people, and that takes a lot of work, a lot of time. Would it have been easier for me to write a check, and I could have probably made more money doing more sales? Probably, but I wouldn't have had the connection. And I think people want to be part of something bigger than yourself. And by giving, you're receiving, and it makes you feel so damn
Talk
good.
about what you're doing now, because this is awesome.
So
this is super awesome. Like
my husband, I've been married for 11 years. He found this property about 2.5 years ago. We were outgrowing our home, and it's a beautiful acre property. It's like, wow. And my eyes just lit up. I'm like, farm, going back to our roots. And I saw it, and I think he didn't believe that this was going to happen. But I like to just try, go after it. Next thing you know, fast forward, a couple little horses were at a rescue facility that they brought in. I'm like, I need to go see them. We went the next day. take my money, because those are coming back.
Yeah, miniature ponies. Right.
So
what's the name of your
Show us your
nonprofit?
shirt there.
So this is Happy Hooves. So I started a new nonprofit,
How can
which
people
is
find Happy Hooves?
Happy Hooves is on Facebook. Happy Hooves, happyhoovesaz.org. Same number, 602-332-5192. And our mission is to provide animal-assisted therapy and activities for those in need. So I got that approved, and now we are currently, it's 115, so we don't do a lot of activities now. But we take our horses, I take Coco and Marshmallow right now, they're ready, to memory care facilities for people with Alzheimer's and dementia. Now we're getting addressed, we're getting asked by their assisted living facility, and now I'm trying to get into hospitals. I'm trying to get into Honor Health. I want to get into Phoenix Children's Hospital, help kids fighting cancer, just to give them something to make them feel good. And I brought all these books with
incredible.
me, and
It's so incredible. We were privileged to go down in February, and they have a parade called the Parada del Sol in Scottsdale, and we got to walk. Oh my God, I get what the hell's wrong with me? Like, it was so awesome. Like, I got to take our twins, Nico and Bowden, Jesse and Brian. We got to take Coco, Marshmallow, Lena. God, Nathan, he's such a I can't say that. Nathan's this male miniature pony. He's awesome. He's like my favorite, but he's a pain. But like it was my kids. Like Bowen's like, I want to go move. I want to live with Uncle Jesse, like, because they loved it. It's like if you can spend an afternoon there, it was therapy for me. Like, it was soul food.
Well, and what's crazy is it started with 2, now there's 6. Now it's like, okay, I got to stop. You know, it's addicting for me because I love these guys so much, and the love they give other people. And
yeah, Jesse's literally looking at 2 rescue ones yesterday.
I know.
I'm like, are you gonna get them or what? I'm like, you totally should get them. Like,
and now that the other nonprofit, I've got to dissolve that because I want to do this. But now we had a big Happy Hooves kickoff / Brian's birthday party. Happy birthday, Happy Hooves. And we had about 220 people to our house to raise a fundraiser. So we got funds to now take these animals out more, so I can get more help to outreach that. And the people had a blast. And I was going to say something else, I forgot, but
you got the $1 I sent you?
Yes, thank you for that donation. I appreciate that. I will make sure you get the IRS form for your tax deduction.
I sent him a $1 bill as a joke, but I did put it on my Facebook page, and I donated a sizable amount.
But what's so cool is I've had people reach out to me that, I won't name names, of course, but her boyfriend had committed suicide, and she was going through a hard time, and she comes almost religiously every week. And another person comes over every week to help on Thursdays. It's grooming days. Now we call it Snow Cone Thursdays. I got a snow cone machine to shave up ice to put cherries for the animals. And, people just come over, and people with kids, they want to come over, and we got a pool. And I'm like, you know what? It's a Sunday afternoon. I got to work. And it's like, you know what? I'm going to invite, so-and-so over with kids. Do your girls want to come and swim with the ponies? Oh, my God, yeah. And it's just cool to share that with people. Yeah, they have their own little pool.
I didn't know that ponies swam.
Yeah.
I know I did see that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Is there somewhere that if someone wants to make a donation to your nonprofit, to Happy Hooves?
They could go on our website, happyhoovesaz.org. There's a donate button. That would be.
And if you're in Phoenix, look Jesse up. I mean, he is the most accommodating. He and Brian and Jeff, their roommate. Jeff is also super awesome. He's like the best chef ever. So like it is soul food. If you're in Phoenix and you don't skip the zoo, head over to Jesse's place. The door is always open. It is
all hands on.
It's an experience you'll never forget.
Awesome. So guys, what I'm getting here is law of reciprocity. I feel like both of you have the same sense of let's give, let's do what we're passionate about, let's have these thoughts and marry them with actions. For someone who's new in the industry, what advice would you have for them based on everything we've talked about today?
I think the biggest thing, God, it would have been a hard question, I think, for me even 3 days ago, like, make sure you take classes. No, it's about being authentic. Don't try to be all things to everyone. Build your tribe. Seth Godin wrote a book. I'm a big Seth Godin fan. Don't get royalties from him. I should, though. But he wrote a book called Tribes. Lead your tribe. Lead the people that pick something you're passionate about and be yourself. Be authentic, and don't worry about you're not going to convert everyone to your way of thinking. Quit trying. Be yourself. People will be drawn to that. I mean, I look at our experience here at Inman. The people that were authentic, even if the message wasn't as deep as someone else, were the ones that I was drawn to, and I actually wanted to engage. I'm like, you know, this would be someone I'd like to have dinner with, because they're actually putting it out there. Is that what do you think, Jesse?
100%. Yeah, being authentic, be yourself, and as you said, you're not going to be everything to everyone. You want to draw like-minded people anyway, and if someone has expectations that you can't meet, that's okay.
Yeah, and don't like go spend $1 zillion on internet ads. It's not, you know, it's important to you know, to do that, like posting and stuff. I get that, like, you know, subscribe to like Gary Vee. Gary Vee's awesome. I mean, all these great ideas. That guy's got more energy than anyone I know except for me.
He's really raw.
Yeah, and he's blunt. He's to the point. He's honest. But the guy cares. You can tell he cares. You know, don't surround yourself with yes men or women who just tell you what you want to hear. You know, hang out with the people that tell you what you need to hear.
And I think what's also very important, like, you know, 15 years of real estate can drain you. You got to feed your soul.
Yeah.
And these guys, they feed my soul.
And love sometimes is a hug, but sometimes love is a punch in the face followed by a hug, right? And you need to remember that, because I need, like, I'm telling you personal experience, I needed a punch in the face. I literally got punched in the face in April at Wake Up Warrior, and I needed that. That's exactly what I needed. And then I got a huge hug, and, you know, and that don't be afraid to take risks. If you lose it all, who cares?
Start over again.
Who cares? I mean, you don't want to die looking back and say, "Gosh, I wish I would have tried this. I wish." You know, do that exercise everyone does. You know, write your obituary and see what it says. And if you don't like it, I had a really crappy job, and you know, I was a real jerk to my family. You know, if that's what you're writing, oh, guess what? You know, today's the day you make a change. I have a question for you guys. What is the best time to plant a tree?
Plant a tree?
Yeah, the optimum time.
Right now.
25 years ago.
Oh. Yeah.
What's the second best time?
Right now.
Right now. All right. So anyway, that's that kind of lost. It wasn't as dramatic and awesome as I thought it was going to be. Anyway, but seriously, like, it's like my guitar that was sitting in the case for 25 years. If I would have practiced 1 hour a week for the last 25 years, I'd be Jimi effing Hendrix right now. Okay, I'd be playing it like David Lee Roth with my teeth, right? Yeah, I'd be playing with a chainsaw, you know. But now instead, I'm sitting here, you know, like, okay, playing, you know, Hickory Dickory Dock right now. Cause, like, you know, I know about 6 chords, but you know what? I'm going to lessons now every week. And if all I do is that 1 hour lesson every week, in 25 years, I will be a god. All right. And somebody asks you if you're a god, what do you say? Yes.
Thank you.
No, sorry, that's goes much. Anyway.
Thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure. Guys, tune in with them, absolutely. And we're here at the Inman Connect conference in Las Vegas. We're very excited to be here. We're going to be here for the next couple of days. I know you guys are heading out tonight. Again, phone numbers, how can we get in touch?
Again, Jesse Pekarek, 602-332-5192, or hit us up on Facebook. My name, Happy Hooves.
And Scot Pekarek, 612-600-8888. Text, call, email Scott with 1 T. Okay, Scott with 1 T at sp-realestate.com. Our podcast is Real Estate World. We're launching August 21st. All right, we're going to have a ton of awesome content. We're directed at real estate professionals, agents, loan officers, title people, and it's our way of giving back. And if you want us to lie to you, you're not going to get that. We're bringing the fire every week, and we're going to be honest. And sometimes it's not going to be what you want to hear, but it will always be the truth. So thank you for having us.
Thanks, Amanda. So much, guys.
And then, of course, get ready for next week's show. We're going to go for noon on Wednesday next week. We had to go early this week. Sorry for that, but there's just appointments that we couldn't work around. So with that, thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Aaron Fruit. Thank you, Adam and Allie Dewar. Thank you, Andy Dram, our producer. And thank you to my wife, Jess, for handling the kids today so I could come to the office early and record this. I would say we usually try to hit singles. But I think today we got the hanging curve and we knocked this thing out of the park.
And to our millions of listeners, like us, hate us, love us, leave us a comment, give us a middle finger emoji, and let us know what you want us to talk about in the episodes to follow.
Yeah, exactly. We want to get better. We know we're not perfect. Our motto here is progress, not perfection. I know some of you would disagree that we probably are perfect. That's all right. We can debate that. You can come on the show. We can get a poll going. But anyway, maybe we'll add that to the show notes. Was this a perfect show or not? or do we have some room for some more Kaizen? Obviously, we're joking. Trolls, take the bait. All right.
Seppuku or Kaizen? Seppuku or Kaizen?
All right, guys.
Command it now.
We got to roll. It's we're going long, like always. We appreciate everyone for tuning in. Put the comments in the comment section. Like us, hate us, love us, leave us. It doesn't matter. We just want you engaged. All right. With that, gentlemen, I'm out of here.
Peace.